Welcome back to Sports Federation TV. As I alluded to in the introduction, we have some breaking news for you. We're joined in studio by an esteemed young man who has less than 24 hours ago been re-elected to be the president of Western Province Cricket Club, a cricket association, not club. Mr. Beresford Williams, good evening and welcome, sir.
Good evening. It's good to be here. Thanks.
Congratulations on your re-election.
Thank you very much.
Another 3-year term, I believe.
Yeah, no, last night at the annual general meeting, we were unanimously re-elected, consistent. Most of those executives that have served have been re-elected. And the clubs have spoken. They've given us the mandate to lead. And yeah, we're ready to lead for another 3 years and ensure that Western Province cricket and Western Cape cricket grows and goes forward.
Absolutely. Let's take 2 steps back, Beresford. Tell us a bit about your involvement in cricket, how you got involved in cricket, so people understand that you just not come into this high position overnight, because there must have been a history for you to be involved.
Yeah, no, from a very young age, one grew up in Belgravia Road, Athlone, and I attended Belthorn Primary School. At school, cricket was promoted because we had Vincent Farrell was a well-known umpire and involved in the game, and his love for the game, he shared it with us, and sports was quite important during that time. As you know, we had to participate in all codes at the time, and cricket and football became your one's first love, and that's where it all started. Many years we lived in Belgravia Road, opposite Turfel Sports Field and Turfel Park, where you play the softball today. That's where I spent most of my days.
Summer and winter, because you played soccer there in winter and cricket in summer.
That's right. So that's where I spent my day, from 7 in the morning, and I locked the gates before I crossed the road to go home. So that's where I spent my entire weekend. Yeah.
Some of your the highlights of your playing career?
I played a little bit of cricket. I played senior schools, Western Province senior schools. I captained the team for a number of years. Thereafter, at the age of 16, I played in the Western Province Cricket Board under 21 side, captained that team, and then I captained all the teams going right up. I spent my club years, I spent at St. Augustines Cricket Club. For many years we played there, and I spent a season or 2 at United Cricket Club. But yeah, I played in the Western Province Cricket Board, and we played in the top league for many years, and one had the privilege of playing against some great cricketers, not just born at the wrong time, but no doubt they were amongst the very best.
Absolutely. You think of people like Basil de Oliveira that obviously had left, but had left an impact in St. Augustines as an example.
Absolutely. Saints at the time in the 60s, 70s, they were indeed the dream team that won lots of trophies, produced top-class players. And that time they also played in Metropolitan, which was quite powerful. But I mean, during that era, we were blessed. There was great talent, many talented cricketers that were produced, and we also one needs to also acknowledge those administrators. They made huge sacrifices, and I mean, we used sport to fight, the system at the time, apartheid, and sport was one of those vehicles where we mobilized communities and families that played the game, but we also mobilized to challenge apartheid.
Absolutely, and sport then was a community activity. You played, I mean, like you just alluded to earlier, you played sport within your area, until you moved into a different area. So you lived in Belthorn, so you played at Turfel, and that's the ethos of what sport was about. Give us some of the highlights of your playing career.
Well, I've scored. I was an opening batsman, and I bowled a bit of spin bowling. Scored a few hundreds, and I think at club cricket I did excel in a number of performances, but I'd like to say we were fantastic cricketers, and I played against some of the best, and yeah, so it was great to share the field with them and compete. Great camaraderie, serious competitiveness on the field, but I mean, we built serious camaraderie and friendships, and I think that's the beauty of the game. Cricket is but the meeting place, and then we extend our network and our connections throughout the province and the country, and now we have a global stage where you make friends and networks throughout the world.
Absolutely. You moved into administration how? Just by chance, or was that your logical next step for you?
Well, at the time I had, I know at Unity of Cricket I was involved with the coaching subcommittee, and then as time went on at the club, we had those icons that were aging, and the baton had to be handed over. And being a leader of the teams, we were approached as younger guys. I know Sean Christensen at the time, we were asked to take over the club's leadership. And before we knew it, we were the cornerstone of the new generation to take over the club and lead the club in terms of, key roles on the executive. And since then, it's been, that's history now. One has just moved on, taken up various roles on executives and administration.
Did you get training to be an administrator? Because I think that's part of the problem we face now, is that you have, like in your case, youngsters coming into being pushed into administration. Maybe pushed is the wrong word, coerced into being administrators because they're leaders as captains or whatever the case may be in the clubs. But there's no follow through in terms of administration or necessarily in terms of mentorship.
Well, we had quite a number of outstanding administrators that were playing a big part in various communities, in various structures and movements. And in the beginning, they would, you would be assistant secretary, assistant treasurer. They would show you the ropes, and you would learn the skills, and they would share about. I mean, they were very meticulous, very thorough, and it was a hard school to come out of. And out of that, the hard school, we had great learnings, and today I'm just blessed to have sat at the feet of the Paul Savills and our Rens family, Willie Kriel, and then later on you had Percy's son and Norman Arendse and those guys, and today we're still sitting with them around the table, and they continue to give. But I think the important thing was one realized after playing, one could not just walk away from the game. And that drove me, I had the love for the game, and I wanted to give back. I've enjoyed the major sacrifices of other administrators and family, and I just thought I wanted to give back, and I just said I will get in administration and give back to other youngsters and create opportunities and open doors.
And that's the selfless aspect of what makes your re-election so special, is that you're doing it not because you want to be the president, but because you believe you have the potential to give back into sport. Tell us a bit about how Western Province cricket is structured, because you have the Cobras on one side and you have the amateur side. Give us a sense of how all of that fits in together into the big scheme.
Okay. Western Province Cricket Association, we have a partnership with SuperSport, which forms a professional company, so the WPPC. And then we also have another shareholder in Poland who's got 33% shares. So between the two affiliates, we form the Western Cape franchise. But in recent time, because of the geopolitical boundaries, Southwestern Districts is now part of the Western Cape family, and they're also part of the Cape Cobras. So today it's Boland, Western Province, and Southwestern Districts that forms the franchise. And then on the other side it's Western Province Cricket Association. We're the amateur component made up of mini cricket, women's cricket, disabled cricket, umpires, etc. So there's a number of components there that forms under the amateur body, and I'm president of that. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back we'll explore those two elements. See you now. Welcome back to Sports Federation TV. If you've just joined in, we're chatting to the newly re-elected President of Western Province Cricket Association, Mr. Beresford Williams. This is the sports show where we talk about all codes of sport, from basketball right through to transport sport. All 73 codes of sport are represented at some point on the show. Beresford, as the cricket man, you the lead two guy, tell us a bit about the amateur structure of Western Province Cricket. How big, how many clubs are there? How's the league happening? I mean, it's off season now to a point.
Well, cricket has almost become a 12-month, it's almost a full year round that we're involved. So yeah, we've just finished our AGM. We're basically into season now. Clubs are working hard. We have about 70 clubs. We have 25,000 young people playing cricket from the ages of 4 to 18. And there's about 8,000 adults that are playing, or seniors. We have a 2-day, 1-day as well as T20 competitions. We pride ourselves that we're the only province in the country that plays a 2-day game. 2 Saturdays, it's a league game. And that has been working for us. Our pipeline has definitely continued to produce top players, and we're not going to change that. And we're going to continue to produce top players that we can feed the franchise, two, we can feed the rest of the country in terms of the number of players playing in the country and then the bottom line is to ensure that the Proteas, that we can create those champions to represent our country at the Protea level.
Tell us a bit about some of the people that have come through the amateur ranks that are now playing either within the Cobra ranks or even some of the other franchises nationally that's come through our ranks through the hard work that has been plowed in Cape Town.
Well, I mean, Vernon Verlander is a great example. Grown up in the Ravensmead area, primary school, high school. He played in the club system, he played in the franchise system, and today he's amongst one of the top fast bowlers in the world. That's Vernon, come from a very humble community, and he's made it to the very top. Paul is another example, Crossy Park. He did go to Plumstead, played his club cricket, and he had a meteoric rise to play for South Africa. And today he's a coach in the franchise system, and I must say that he's doing a fantastic job amongst the number of trophies that he's won in a short space of time. Annually, every season, there's one or two young players coming through. We've got Zubair Hamza, a player that has come, has hit the scene. He's definitely somebody to watch for the near future. There's Jason Smith, Diane Khalem, and they just come through every year. Clyde Fortuin, he's playing for the Warriors now, but a boy that has come through the ranks. So from the young players, every year we're continuing to produce. So those in the system, in the pipeline, is doing something right. So we are blessed in this region that we continue to produce those players that go to the top.
Absolutely, but also you have a wealth of coaching experience. You look at someone like Vinnie Barnes, who's with the SA team. I mean, who also comes from Cape Town. I mean, who's come through the ranks, played his local cricket, and now is a national coach of the A team. I mean, how many other success stories from a coaching point of view? I mean, Paul Adams is another example.
Well, we've got Faik Davids.
Yep.
I mean, Faik Davids has done it. We've got Omar Henry that has been around for a long time, and he's still going to be active in the Western Cape Academy.
Yep.
Johan Lowe, that has just retired, has been appointed by Boland. So in our region, what we've created in the Western Cape is that this pipeline, we're not operating in isolation. The three affiliates are working very closely together. We've aligned our goals and objectives. We've used our resources optimally in terms of sharing, and we have a common vision and a common purpose. And I think that has been great for creating that environment. And then through the ranks from mini cricket right up has been very competitive, and in the past 5 to 10 years we've been at the national tournaments, winning those tournaments, producing those young players to represent South Africa under 19, and most of them are making it through to the next level. So in the pipeline, I think we're doing very well.
In terms of, and I agree with you, there's lots of potential coming through the ranks. In terms of the Cobras, what do you see their prospects as this coming season? I mean, that's the talk of the town at the moment.
Well, I mean, every season, we just got to raise the bar. I mean, Paul knows he's got to win all 3 trophies. If he doesn't win the 3 competitions, it's not a good year.
Yeah.
But having said that, in the past 3 years, he's delivered the silverware. We've had additional players being called up to play for the Proteas. So, it's Dane Peets, the Dane Pattersons, Dane Villas, Ompili Ramela. The list just goes on. I think we have about 7 players that's in the South African A side. The South African Academy team, there's another for half a dozen that's in that system. So we continue to produce those players. So I think the bottom line, we're going to continue to strive for excellence, and he's got to win trophies all the time.
And he's always pushing that boundary as a coach. I mean, you look at the interviews that people do with him, and even his training that he does. He's always pushing the boundaries to improve himself, number one, and also the players that he coaches.
Yeah, no, listen, he does set high standards. The bar set high, and that's what I respect of him. He's always pushing himself and the team, and we're creating the environment in that space where every single player can excel. And as a team, I think the team ethic and the teamwork that stands out for me. It's a great team, great bunch of players. They know their roles, but they play for each other. And as a team, if you play for each other, you get the results. And that's very healthy. There are challenges. I mean, one doesn't just want to talk about all the good things that are happening. But we do have our challenges, with Cricket South Africa introducing governance. So we were looking at improving our governance. The financial challenges that we do have in the province is taxing. And more important, we need to look at serious transformation. It's an ongoing debate. It's 20 years later and we're still talking about transformation. But the reality is that we have not delivered, and we will continue now to vigorously pursue creating, talking about equality, but more important, that we're not going to shy away. Black African cricketers need to be given a greater opportunity and support. Biggest challenge, facilities, financial resources, but that's always going to be an issue. So we're going to have to find ways to get to do more with less, but more important, to get our sponsors to start investing and spending the money in areas where we're going to take a long time. There's no facilities, there's no basics there. So we're working on creating stronger partnerships with schools and clubs, speaking to local government about strengthening our partnerships so that we can look at those realities. Facilities, there's just not enough, and in fact the ones that are there are inadequate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are the things that one is now really focusing on.
Absolutely. We're going to take an ad break, and when we come back we'll catch up with Beresford. See you now.